You know, today I had a migraine headache, had it a long time. I presented to the doctor with migraine. He said, you know, Dave, those really predominantly affect your prefrontal cortex in your brain, so we're going to do some surgery there. And see, doctor, you're out of your mind. The prefrontal cortex in your brain is associated with, I'm going to read this because I can't remember it all. Decision making, reasoning, personality expression, maintaining social appropriateness, and other complex cognitive behaviors. And about right now you're saying, what's that have to do with anything? I'm about to tell you. You know, the solution has to match the symptoms. And board members, you're in charge of the process, not the school administration. You're the decision makers. Look on page 2 of your FAQ in front of you, and you look at secondary enrollment here. That's relatively stable. It's not going anywhere. It's not wandering anywhere. So why are we having this discussion about grouping students and changing where they go to school? The real issue is, how can we provide a really great education for these kids knowing that the enrollment isn't going anywhere for them? And I'm going to tell you, it's not just over the course of the next several years. I'm going to go further back in time. It really hasn't changed a lot, at least in my experiences here. This year I have one that's graduating at Eisenhower. His oldest brother graduated 10 years ago, and there are 2 more in between. Over that span of 10 years, and then looking at what I'm looking at here, going back, we're going to go back further, it hasn't changed. But I'll tell you what has changed. The curriculum. There's been a catastrophic loss of upper level math, science, social studies, and English courses at Eisenhower. I can't speak to the other schools. I'm not a parent there. And a lot of the board members I see here aren't. It's not a criticism of you. But see, you listen to consultants and you hear from school board administrators because that's where you get your information, and that's okay. But it would be better to have a process that involves people like me and people like this and students, because we can tell you what's going on and what has gone on. Because what I can tell you is the migraine. It's not about operating on my frontal cortex. It's not really about the enrollment. The classes went away for different reasons. And some of us know a little bit about that. I can't tell you all about it in 2 minutes. It's not long enough. You need a different process to get there. We've done those processes in the past, where we've had committees, we've had dialogue, we share information. There's a way to validate the information, because some things people say aren't really very good, they're not true. So it takes time. But you really need to get that kind of information, because I am telling you, things have changed in the last 10 years. They're not for the better, and it is simply not because of the enrollment. That's bad information.
I'd like to ask the board members to be sure that they have all pertinent data in order to make an informed decision or vote regarding school reconfiguration. Get the answers to the questions and concerns that you hear today by the public, aka key stakeholders, which do include parents and students. Be sure the key stakeholders that are individually interviewed in this process are from all regions of Warren County. Understand and look at past data, what effect closing schools has had on different regions of our community, such as in Sugar Grove. They lost their bank, shops closed, travel time to schools increased in good weather, and that time increased doubles in poor winter, rainy, stormy weather, which that's when our kids go to school, is in the fall, winter, spring. And that makes a difference whether a student rides a school bus, drives their own car, or a parent or grandparent takes them and has to drive them to school. And my kids are always late. And I value my sleep, so it could be genetics. Doesn't really matter, but we're always late. I'm always driving my kids to school. So it makes a difference whether they're on the bus or have to drive. And data. You don't have all the right data. You've already been pointed out a couple areas where this data is incorrect or missing information. When Youngsville's football team was closed and sent to Warren for a co-op, the rumors had it that the numbers were low, participation was low. There was not enough participation for a football team. That was a lie, that was a rumor. We had 30 students when they closed our Youngsville football team and made it a co-op to go to Warren. So what numbers did that leave us? In 2022-23 school year, our high school football players that actually participated as a co-op, 7. Our junior high, 6 students. So there's a total of 13 kids. We went from 30 as a low participating football team to 13 children from Youngsville that are participating in football this year. And that was from our sports director at Youngsville. So those are accurate numbers. And our cheerleaders, varsity 2 this year participated, junior high 3. So only 5 girls from Youngsville. So when you're looking at the 30 versus 13 football players, what happens to the other 17? What are they doing? They're not participating in football. Okay, so there's lost opportunities. Those are real numbers. And of course, when you want to participate in these activities, after-school activities, you need to travel. And that is an issue. As you can look at our county, how big of an issue it is to look at the map and having to travel and drive from Pittsfield, Youngsville to Warren. And on page 4, table 1, district summary, you can look at K123 in 2022. The numbers of forecasted student counts was 208 and 12th, 305. So yeah, there's a decrease there. However, if you look at 12th grade across the board from 2014 to 227, the numbers do not go down. The numbers go up and down, up and down, up, down, up, down. So that was a inaccurate view of that table earlier. And on page 12,
could we please wrap up here?
yep, one more comment here on page 12, number 18, table Youngsville Elementary. My daughter, my one child, I have 2 at Youngsville Elementary, 2 at the middle high school. So in 5th grade, we have the average attendance at Youngsville Elementary is 17 students. 5th grade, you have 2 classes, 25 and 27 students in the classroom. My daughter may or may not have prefrontal cortex damage. She fell and hit her head as a child, and we are just now learning and discovering her emotional needs in 5th grade. She cannot handle a classroom of 27 students, and there's very little monitoring, and we do have our one support teacher that has helped a little bit, but no one's doing any testing or seeing why she is so emotionally and overwhelmed with her class and seems to have not enough time to get her work done. So if you take those two classes, 25, 27 students, that's 52 students. If you divide it into 3 classrooms, that would make your class 17. So if we made that an average class, 3 classrooms, 17 students, it would be way less stress, and her stress level and ability to not be overwhelmed and to concentrate and focus in her classroom would be much easier on her. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Courtney Williams and I am a resident of Sheffield. I am also a mother of a second grader at Sheffield Elementary, so hopefully this is the only time I have to be up here fighting for this, but unfortunately I'm not very hopeful. First, I'm going to discuss building utilization. We keep hearing that by closing Sheffield High School and moving grades 9 through 12 to Warren Area High School, you'll be saving money. However, when the building utilization was done, they conveniently did not account for grades K through 5th. Because of the way that Sheffield is set up, all students use classrooms in the high school. This is for specials, so like art, music, library, things like that. The nurse's office is also located in the high school. So with that being said, because of the way that the data was collected, Sheffield's numbers are now skewed and put Sheffield at a disadvantage. By closing the high school, you eliminate services to grades that are in the formative years. So remember that you can make stats look any way that you want. So please, board members, make sure you are sharing all of the data to the public. Also, I'm going to go over enrollment numbers. In your master facilities plan, does this include the virtual students? Does this also include students that attend St. Joe's and Warren County Christian School? These students have the potential and the opportunity to attend school within the district at any time. By not including these students in the data for the future plans of the potential closure of 2 schools within the district, this could have a huge impact in the future. Was the most recent census information used for Sheffield and Youngsville's attendance areas? We're planning for the future, correct? Then we need the most accurate data. Also, like others, I would like to point out sports. There have been many comments about Youngsville's football team. Previously, Sheffield's football team was eliminated and they moved to Warren. During that period, only 3 of Sheffield's team members played. The rest of them ended up quitting. Only 1 of those team members played, the rest of them sat the bench. Currently, there are 4 Sheffield girls on Warren's basketball team. The rest of those girls quit when Sheffield's basketball team was eliminated from Sheffield. Beatty, their wrestling team this year they did not meet the numbers. So as you know, every sport has a number that they have to reach in order to play. Beatty did not meet their numbers. If any other sport within the county does not reach their numbers, they are put on probation. For wrestling, for junior high, for Beatty, they were put into club status. If this was any other school within the county, they would have been on probation, or they would have had to co-op. Not for Beatty. They just went into club status. They should have had to co-op with Sheffield, or with Youngsville, or possibly with Eisenhower. But again, they were moved into club status. No repercussions or anything. So, I'll move on to my next point. Recruiting and spending, let's cut the budget. With the old elementary school being sold, how will that money be used? Considering this building, central office, is now one of the most underutilized, let's relocate administration and sell this building. Can we recruit more teachers? As previous human resource representative, I know it's frustrating to hire. I also know there are many colleges in the area that have a great teaching program. In my experience, I also know how important it is to sell Warren and to keep these college grads in the area. Bring college grads to the area, you grow Warren. Is the board sending people to job fairs to recruit, I'm almost done, to recruit new teachers? How many teachers that are doing student teaching are being hired? I'd like a number. If you can send that to me, that would be great, because I know colleges are sending teachers to do student teaching. Are we hiring any? Because that would be an excellent way to, fill the gap of the teachers that we are needing. So, thank you for your time, and I hope there's some resolution to these concerns that parents and students have within the community. Thanks.